Hey everybody, welcome back to the Biblio Files, our actual play D&D game set in the Forgotten Realms, taking place in, around, and connected to the Library Fortress of Candlekeep. I'm Asmo Daniker, your host, and we here at Heathen Cantina hope you're having a great night. Be safe, be good to yourself, good to each other. I'm going to go around and introduce the other players. We'll start with upper right there with the player for Shaznazular. Introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, I'm Eric. I'll be playing Shaznazular this evening. Same as every week.
Thanks, Eric. Ruben, how about you?
I'm Ruben, and I'm playing Elisar, the elf wizard, and you can find me here every other week on the Bibliophiles.
Alrighty. And Rock, played by Fran.
Hi, I'm Fran. My pronouns are she, her, and you can find me on here in the Bibliophiles and also around everywhere as Citroneria.
All right, and Gail.
Hello, I'm Matt. You can find me on Twitch at Heathen Hoff and on SoundCloud at Heathen Hoffline, I believe there. Pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing Gale, and I also play Twitty Twinbolt on the other Saturday night games here at the Cantina.
All right, last and certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Nicholas, or Unichronic on Twitter and Twitch. Just replace the O with a 0. I'm playing Zare Vandry, a Drow Bard, sword dancer of Elestrae. My pronouns are he, him. Her pronouns are she, her. And I'm really excited to get playing tonight.
Same. I'm kind of giddy. We jumped right into this. The party finally managed to find a place to hide in this madhouse of extra-dimensional whimsy and terror. You know, and in the garden there are fairy dragons who, if you startle them, they might knock you out with their sleep gas, but it'll smell like lavenders and you'll wake up feeling fantastic. It's the best multicolored disco nap in the entire mansion. They met Coriander and Cumin, two eccentric cooks, homunculi cooks. So they were alchemical constructs of a sort, a little more personality imbued in them. And they saw black cats, but let's talk about how they got in here. Well, they found this extra-dimensional space and realized it had absconded with the missing sage Matrius, and powerful conjuration and abjuration magics radiated from it. And he somehow, just upon going to the door, trapped the rest of the party inside, and it sounds like some sort of transference of beings took place, because he suddenly had a whole lot of imps to deal with on his side of the door. We'll get back to him a little later. The good news is the party found a study full of plush chairs, stacks of books, books on tables, books on chairs, books on books on books, and started looking around and investigating it. And our plucky rogue was able to find one book that, when depressed and knocked back, had a pull chain, a counterweight, revealed a secret door, and a set of stairs down into the darkness, a few gossamer cobwebs seeming to be all that block the path. No light, of course. But before tackling that, the party thought they would take stock, and after eating food that seemed to be very real, maybe it's time to catch some rest to restore themselves and see what they've learned. So we're going to go around in any order y'all choose. Share with us what you got at level 2, because you fought so hard for it.
Well, I'll go. Gale went and became a Circle of the Moon druid. Various connections with the Earth have only become, stronger, being torn apart from it in this strange extra-dimensional space. I called out looking for connection, and it responded back. And now there's a new channel for my path.
I took a nap and found that I was able to perform more bonus actions.
I woke up froggy. Yeah, the second level rogue is kind of a 3-trick pony, but they're good tricks.
LSR ascended to second level wizard, and in so doing picked up the blade singing feature. So that'll be hopefully coming in handy soon.
Zare is now a second level bard, and she has Song of Rest and Jack of all trades. So she's picking up more skills and more musical abilities.
Arak seems to have gotten a lot more rest, so now he has a danger sense, so he can sense what when things aren't as they should be, giving him an edge when he dodges away from danger. So it seems like he just got a good night's sleep.
You in
He's able
danger.
to handle it.
So, ever the good hosts, there's a rapping at the door, just as you're starting to settle into these oversized, comfy chairs. Begging your pardon. May we come in? It sounds like Coriander.
Is he bringing snacks?
It seems likely.
Then let him in. That last meal was good.
Well, they've come in. Let me describe them again. So, picture a famous, alliterative pig character with a stutter, but wings and a bullfrog-like throat sack. Alternately, one of them has oversized bat wings and the other has dragonfly wings. They are servitor homunculi, and they seem to largely be in and around the kitchen, but in lieu of other staff, they seem to have gravitated towards you. And Cumin goes, I made you some tea. It will help you sleep. It's herbal. Nothing jumpy. Looks right at Shaz.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I'll take a cup and I'll drink it. Because I live dangerously.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Excited.
Sage spent a lot of time in this room, Coriander says. Looking a little... He seems a little off-put.
Barbecue sauce?
There's a... Is that barbecue sauce done? No, it's gotta cook slow and low. We'll add the mustard later. Okay. Are we having pork? And they seem to
You never know
entertain
what's going to come
themselves.
through my mic.
They seem to have entertained themselves on that extra-dimensional transmission, picking up from other spaces. It just seems like Coriander's his laugh even sounded a little nervous. I'm gonna have you all make an insight check.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Also, Gale does the thing that they've done with every other piece of food and casts Purify food and drink on it before partaking.
It's a good-sized pot of tea and 5 small cups. And then an even smaller saucer and a little bit of tea is put in that. And the cat stretches and goes over, and you realize there's a little bit of catnip in the tea.
Ooh, exciting.
Then the cat spazzes out, kicks over the teapot all over the books. No, I'm just kidding.
Classic.
So Gail, you can you're actually the only one that picked up on it. Coriander looks a little nervous. He's itching his arm and sort of shifting from one wing to the other as he floats there. Looks a little nervous, like he's got a secret. Experiencing some sort of distress.
Gail, as they're setting up the little totems and whatnot, and drawing the circle and letting it do its thing, they sort of look at them and say, "What? Is something wrong?"
When you're a cook, you can keep track of things, and if you double a recipe, sometimes it's half again as much of this, and you don't just double this. You don't just double everything, because sometimes you don't need that much of the powder that foams in the cake, because it'll make it go. It's just there's an equation. And, one, I guess it's a good thing. Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of a thief. Helped himself to all the figurines he could find. Well, the ones he could find.
Not wanting to cast any aspersions on the character of your companion on the outside, as it were, but Matrius, well, he pocketed a number of imp figurines before leaving.
What do those do?
Well, they were involved in a game about 40 years ago.
Well, the entire mansion is sort of a living puzzle. This was the architect's room. She wrote, well, almost every single one of these books. You realize you're in a small study with several hundred books.
Who was this architect?
Her name was Fistandia.
She must have been here for quite some time.
That's just it. Was she? I mean, how long have we been here?
Many, many loaves of bread.
Matrius mentioned being in here for how long? Before a search party came looking?
Only a couple hours.
To him, it was a couple hours. But to the outside, it was...
It was 10 days.
Yeah.
As I recall.
The tea should help, and you can figure it out from in here, or at least get started. It's a good place to start. Be careful. It's dangerous.
It's a good thing that you didn't find all the figurines.
What happens when all of them are together?
It's not the figurines you should be looking for.
What is
Should we be looking for? What should we be looking for?
Clues. We'll leave you to it. Sleep well.
And they seem to be backing out of the room, having poured everybody a cup of tea and even a little bit for the cat.
Quite interesting.
The cat follows them out, though, this time. Probably hoping to get out in the garden, sleep in what passes for a sunbeam out here in this roiling, incandescent, alternately amber and indigo miasma. So,
I'm going to assume the tea's safe because they've been taking care of this cat right along. They wouldn't poison the cat.
Gale never assumes. Or rather, Gale assumes everything is poison.
and with that, we zoom in on Gale Gale of Misty Vale. And we zoom out on a scene with a younger Gale, a more well-fed Gale, a not quite as gaunt and sickly looking, a younger Gale. But the land you are in, where you have been learning from the Green Lady here in the Bryn Wood, it too bears a poison curse. As the river winds through this valley, you come across an adult, but a young brown bear that appears to be laying down, shivering by the side of this stream. Every so often you see the flicker flash of shimmering iridescence off the side of the scales of the massive salmon that are running upstream here. Bear is laying down its back to you, and it's convulsing. It's having some sort of fit, some sort of seizure. It's not well.
So Gil's seen this before. Not to a bear, but, smaller animals have, sometimes they drink too deeply from the waters or eat some of the fish that are on the bottom of the river that just sort of clear and up as much of the pollution as they can, but a smaller animal just can't take it. But something as large as a bear, Gil hasn't seen a bear have this sort of reaction, so they run up to it cautiously, maybe 20 feet away. That's when they slow down and walk calmly close to them.
The bear hardly takes notice of you. As you crest around to where you can see its face, you see its eyes have foamed over. They've secreted so much mucus that it has dried here and occluded their vision and clamped shut one of their eyelids almost completely. The shakes are largely from its hide and its belly, and you see that it has gorged itself on salmon, gravid, heavy with eggs. But one of the salmon, some of the eggs that spilled out are not the pearlescent orange spheres you expected, but cloudy, almost oily, inky black spheres. But they're more gooey and greasy, and where they've popped and burst open, they immediately just molder away. The interior flesh of that salmon is also inky and corrupted by this. This is the most of it you've ever seen concentrated in one animal. But you know this bear's not well. And you hear behind you an old woman's voice. You know her. She has visited you, if not daily as of late, at least weekly. But you saw her at many points in your life and spent seasons with her learning. This is the Green Lady. And she says,
If we lost an eye, we would be sad. So the mother too is sad, and she'll end when the world ends. That cub cannot be saved. It is best just to ease its suffering.
Yes.
How many have you helped cross over this season?
Too many. More than last year. and it's not even a quarter way through. It's spreading. It's getting worse.
The work you do, it's funerary. But in time, you will remember how to play as a bear. I'm sorry we didn't have another season together. It's time I go, and it's time you go. I'm
Yes, lady.
taking the
But
veil
I
over.
will be back.
To the other side. I can keep the veil safe in the Feywild. At least I can get it there. And when you are an old green lord, come back and reconnect it to the weave of Eldath's realm.
It will be done when this forest is clean again.
The Mother of Waters comes from the Mother of Mountains. May the mountains watch over you and send their strength. You will need it. When you wake the next day, you're aware that she is gone. When you saw her in the sun, she shone, but for the 10,000 wrinkles of the centuries of age upon her. Some say the Green Lady was first documented in the 1350s Dale Reckoning, but you know she's been here since, well, maybe longer, a few 100 years longer. She looked every one of them when you said goodbye. You start to wander, not so much wander as follow the stream down to the valley, into the settlements, and into the Blight. The last few years you were in Misty Vale so long, maybe time passed differently out here, but come across the first settlement, it's 14, 15 buildings, one of them obviously still in construction and not yet done. Numerous tasks left unfinished. People dead in their beds, in their chairs, sitting by their fires. Plates on the table, the food long having been molded away or scavenged by insects, but some smut on the wheat, some corruption in the meat, some foul spoilage. Everything's poison here. You know, a century ago, there was evil sorcerer, alchemist, sought to create the most powerful poisons ever made. You know, you carry half his book to the west, and you'll come back here as an old bear, not as a young bear. You learned to purify everything you eat and drink. But this catnip, mint, rosehip tea thing they've got going on, cumin, it's got a strong tea game.
Nice.
It's herbal, it's refreshing, and it's soothing. I'm about to drop a long rest on everybody. Well earned. And kind of get the feeling much needed.
Oh boy.
All right, we are back in the study. You know, the entire far wall, the north wall, if you will, top of the map wall, is just floor to ceilings bookshelf. One of them a secret passageway, but most of that secret door one is also in fact a functional bookshelf. It didn't give up that much mechanism. It didn't give up that much shelf space to the mechanism of being a secret door. There's more books everywhere, but I'm gonna have everybody make an investigation check, and well, I sure hope you do.
Oh,
Here you go, yo. So what are we looking at? We got 7 on the die, 7 on the die, 19 on the die. Okay. Vandry, you see something familiar about this. You remember when you were a child and in the company of your mother in a small bookshelf, she would give you a list of page numbers, and you'd go and open those books to those page numbers, and sort of a bibliomancy, if you will. It's a way to hide ciphers just in the books around a place. You're reminded of that as you see the cat is sleeping on a stack, and the book under the cat is got gilding on the spine in a manner very similar to the gilding that was on the book The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces that transported you here. And there's a single letter on there, and you start to wonder if it's some ancient imperial number system. Is it an imperial numeral? Because it's an I. So is this the first? If you find all the books, just like you had to rearrange the cipher of Scepter, not Spectre, to get in here, if you discover all the letters and rearrange them, you can get out of here. This is the first one. I'm going to go ahead and drag that to y'all's inventory, the old party parcel. What do you do the next morning? It's feels like morning. You're waking up a little stiff and crackly from having crashed out on chairs. The elves were up, really 4 hours before everybody, just meditating and like, okay, maybe they were having quiet conversations. Maybe they were starting to signal each other in a code that only one of them knows a piece of. But what's your first order of the day?
ooh.
I'm gonna say, well, first off, let's look around, check the spines of these books, and see if there's any others with a single letter on them.
Yep, that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only one.
In
After
this room.
you kind of scanned throughout, but now you actually make a concerted effort to look for that gilding. And you find a few that have some gilding on them, but none like that. None that comprise the leaf of the spine and embossed with that letter so prominent there.
You guys
And
want to
it's-
check out what's behind the secret door?
Yes, let's check out the secret door.
All right, I'm gonna pop it open.
Okay. All right. You want to poke your head in there?
Yeah. Are there any candles or anything in this room that I can? Do I need light in there? Is it dark?
Do you want to take one of the torches off the wall?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take a torch off the wall.
Okay. Give you a perception check on that too.
I'm gonna hold that in my offhand, of course.
What's your offhand?
My left hand.
Hold you to that.
Okay.
$17 on the die for a 20 perception check. This torch gives off no heat.
What? Light without heat?
It's one of those
Awesome.
LED torches.
Sweet. Heard these last for like 10,000 hours.
They're not bad. So are you making your way downstairs?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm not gonna draw my dagger, but I'm gonna keep my hand on the jambaya just in case. And make my way down the stairs.
Go for it. I like your chances.
Is the map shared out? I'm gonna. Boom! There we are. Okay. I didn't see the map for some reason, but now I'm here.
I'm just cognizant of not accidentally oversharing on the stream to the point where it spoils things for y'all. That's a real easy thing to do.
Yeah, I actually minimized the stream for now just so I don't see anything. Like a door or anything down here?
Following after.
I love the enthusiasm of going downstairs. All right, the two of you descend. This is awesome. Sometimes it takes a while to
Looking for the book,
get a party brave enough.
the letters.
I love rolling up characters. I'm brave.
Nice.
Shouldn't we be looking for all the different books? The letters on
You
them?
did. You did so over the course of a long rest and found one, but you get the feeling the rest of the books aren't in this room.
Ooh, there might be some down here. Must be spread out
Maybe.
around the Swank Mansion here.
Okay.
Well then.
Leoman's Swank Mansion.
Swanky digs. Maybe I should make a homunculus based on Robin Leach.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, so you move down and no more of that amber, indigo, swirly light from the outside as you descend into what feels very recognizably subterranean. And it is dark, but you become aware that there's a number of strong smells. The tang of them, it's alternately formaldehyde and asafoetida and dragon's blood and sulfur. They're the kind of smells that give you caution to proceed. Shaz, there's a door to your south that is closed and one to your east that is closed. So you've come across two doors at the end of this triple staircase.
I would like to check out both of them and see if they appear to have any extra mechanisms that might cause us harm.
Okay. So you're checking.
Checking for traps.
Which door are you checking first?
Oh, I can't see the map anymore. Did you
I know.
take it away? Okay.
I took it away. Theater
okay.
of the mind.
Okay. So there's one on my left and one straight ahead?
Yeah, as you come down the staircase, there's a door that is open to the side, and
Okay.
it ends in a small 5 by 15 foot hallway that ends in a closed door, and along the long wall is another door. So a door to the south, if you will, and a door to the east.
Okay, I'm going to check out the door to the east first.
Okay. Now, I was aware that Elisar, you followed. How
Yes.
closely did you follow? They seem to move silently and comfortably as they did so.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
I would say pretty close behind, like
10 feet?
10 feet away.
So
sounds
you're
right.
actually at the open doorway then.
Okay.
Okay. Zaray, you poke your head in and see down there, you can see their light source flicking around if nothing else. And yes, I know you have the dark vision, but it's quite obvious about how far away they are, even without being down there with them. But do you descend the stairs as well?
Yes, Zare does descend the stairs after Elazar.
All right. As you descend into the earth, the coolness takes over. You realize it is cooler down here, feels underground, even if you know that this is just a floating space in an extra-dimensional void. It's cooler down here, but that smell just bites at you, that conflicting herbal meets like dank, earthy herbal, and almost like a burnt hair smell and a sulfur smell, and then just this like chemical smell like solvents and alcohol.
As she's walking down, what's the wall like?
Stone. Black stone bricks. Kind of almost uniform size and shape, but patterned enough to work. Despite this being a magical construction, they're very convincing as cut from stone by workers' hands, even with the little bits of uniformity. But as you descend, go ahead and have you make an investigation or perception, which would you prefer?
Perception, please.
Oh yeah, I'm checking the door for traps too. Are you gonna send?
We're coming back to you.
Okay. Nah, fam, don't see it.
Yeah, she can. She does kind of trace her fingers around the walls a little bit. Something about it is a little bit homey. Walking, descending down into the underground, maybe feels a little bit like the Underdark to her. Although there are some scents that aren't quite like home, but it puts her a little out of sorts as she descends.
A rock. As you get to the top of the stairs, those smells stick out a little more, and it's very funky as you descend these stairs.
I think Arak is just getting ready, like with his staff in one hand and his shield in another, just to see if there's like any danger oncoming. And also because I think he's the last one. I think he was at the back.
Oh no, Gale's at the back.
Oh, Gale's at the back.
Yeah.
Well, either way, Arak is also cognizant of anything, trying to figure out if anything behind Gale follows them or something.
Okay. Gale, I don't have to tell you how poisonous these smells are. In fact, you're more impressed that you didn't smell them over the tea in the room near this hallway, but maybe the depth of it below maybe the size of the ceiling and the floor. Maybe it's the function of the strong arcane magic that keeps this place in existence. Now, we'll go back to Sheznajalar checking one of the doors for traps.
So yeah, I'm going to, draw my dagger and just kind of probe around the edges of the door to see if there's any extra like latches or pins or anything that might be engaged. Check the knob, the latching mechanism that's there. Usual stuff.
It's very strong, exotic metal hinges. It's like a flat gray with dark black swirls banded in it. Folded, hammered.
A Damascus door?
Well, it's actually adamantine.
Okay.
And the door itself is stoned. But there is what looks to be a faceplate and a keyhole of metal in the stone mechanism. But the keyhole is a little large, so it looks like it's for a key that would be, well, chunky. Like a big metal key to depress the latch that holds a stone door in place. It's terribly over-engineered, this door. And the door to the east is of similar construction.
Okay.
It's a lot more door than it looks like is necessary. You do not, at first glance, see any ward or defense mechanism on it, but I'm going to go ahead and send you another roll. This one will be hidden from you because, you don't know if it's trapped. I can only tell you what you think you see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, you don't see any traps.
Does it appear to be locked? Let's try the latch a little bit.
It is not locked. It's closed, but it's not locked. Do you try to open that stealthily, by the way?
Yes. Yes, I'm gonna do it stealthily. I'm gonna let everybody know I'm opening this, and I'm gonna quietly pull it open.
Good luck.
And I have appeared on a map. Look, everyone, I've discovered another map. And I trip and fall into the door.
You silently turn down the handle and you realize this is really well made. It's either it doesn't have any need to be maintained. There's no corrosion. This isn't wearing metal on metal. You don't feel that sensation of grinding as you silently open the door, and upon pushing it in, ring a little bell that was posed over the door.
Oh, nice. Customers are here.
The dark stone walled room contains only a few objects as you look around in there with your light. A 5-foot diameter circle of intricate runes covers the floor. There's an empty wooden bookstand opposite the door. Some bronze braziers at the other 3 cardinal points around the circle. Whatever material they contained long to go burned to cinders, but it still stinks of that charcoal, sulfur, chemical smell in here. Sitting next to the bookstand. It's a
Toad?
You hear a wet flap, like
Okay.
yeah. Sounds like
Elisar, check this out. There's some crazy ruins in here. I can't read this stuff, but maybe you can.
So you want to move to the side to allow other people to enter this chamber? Or do you want to enter the chamber, move to the side to allow other people to enter the chamber? Because you are in front of the door, and yes, people can move through your square, of course, but...
I'm going to prop the door open.
Now it's
so
push
it doesn't
in.
shut behind me. It's a push in, okay. So I'm going to just use something to... I don't have any iron spike. Oh, I do have pitons. Okay. I'm gonna just kind of put a spike in the hinge so it won't close. So it just holds it open. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And make my way in because I don't want to get trapped in this room.
It's gonna take 2 spikes. The door is pretty heavy. Not that one won't do it, but it's sort of the way the counterweight allows the door to push freely in, even though it must weigh hundreds of pounds. You know?
Yeah, sure.
It's just that to create
in such a way that I can get them back afterwards if I decide to leave the room. Can I pull them back out?
Depends how fast you
leave. Here forever. Okay. Well, I'll mark them off for now. Just yeah, I'm gonna make my way into the room and move to the side.
Okay, so Elisar will follow in.
Elisar? Let's talk about your big old wizard brain.
Ooh.
Because you're like super. Whoop, no need to look at that. You're super smart and you're learned and you've been studying and you can't help but think there's a little bit more going on here. And you got trust issues. Comes from being around a school full of wizards.
That it does. Dang it.
Yeah. A couple of familiars in here is what you're thinking. Are you moving to the side? Rock's like, let me through. Frogs. You heard some strange croaky critter.
Yeah, he'll move closer to try to inspect some of the runes.
Okay. It's conjuration magic. You know that outright, just upon first glance. But it's get another Arcana check for this. It's better. It's currently keyed to the abyss.
Ooh,
This is abyssal.
I do know Abyssal.
Now there is a thin line of a couple of like arc solar celestial names around the outside of it for containment, but the interior is a spiral of abyssal, as abyssal likes to do. Gale, this room smells bad, but it's at least more of an herbal bad. It smells like burnt plant and fungus material. You strongly suspect that at least one of the plants or funguses that was burned here, sending you a nature check, that was burned here is other planar in nature. Wow, you made it by 10. Yes, it's a fungus from the abyss. You burn it when you want to summon certain lower leveled demons that are of a much more nameable and quantifiable amount.
A lot of imps.
Not imps. Imps would be from the Nine Hells.
Uh-huh.
These are slightly different frequency. And as you say, a lot of... Do you say it out loud? A lot of imps?
Yep.
One of the
AM
bullfrogs...
versus FM. You know?
One of the bullfrogs goes... and inflates its throat sac impossibly large and bursts into this like green spattering form, and what is standing in its place is a horned demon. It's got a lot of sharp edges on it. Its ears are long and sharp. Its
Like a
teeth are small
closet?
and sharp, but it seems to just have a mouthful of dozens of them.
Oh yeah.
And it looks over at the other one and goes, "It would be a jolly good show, chap, if you could show them your true form." And the other one goes and does the same, bursting forth. And delightful, we shall engage in the kicking of your asses. Nothing personal. And they proceed to engage you in combat. But before we roll initiative, we're going to take a quick break, just a 5-minute. And when we come back, we're gonna fight some quasits. See you soon, folks. All right, welcome back, everybody. When we last left our party, they had all filed into what was very obviously a summoning chamber, and the large warty toads that were occupying this chamber were in fact quasits who had shapeshifted into a disguised form. They seem to resent the intrusion, and we shall engage in fisticuffs. They appear to be ready to deliver their form of chaotic justice to the party. We're about to roll initiative, y'all. Sending you all that now.
I'll just wait for you guys to go.
So, Gale, what did we get for initiative? What'd you get?
I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's not first.
No.
Arak, how about you?
18.
Okay. Elisar?
11.
Nice. And Shaz, Najular?
6. Far for the
Zero.
course on initiative.
Zere?
15.
Not bad. I'm going to roll for the monsters now and see what they get.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, Arak, you were ready for this. They popped into their forms, and you were not impressed. And they don't look to be all that. They're just a couple of thwacks away. You can take them out. You just got to hit them really, really hard. You go first.
I'd like to move here first. And then Arak wants to attack recklessly because he got that for second level.
Nice.
So I want to do a reckless attack on the closet facing Zere.
Okay.
Hang on. That's just advantage, right? So
That is a big solid hit. The crack of the bat. You hit him square in the flank. You kind of hoped you would have heard some ribs crack, but you didn't. It seemed like he shrugged it off.
I haven't gone into rage yet, so, and I know I probably should have done that before, but I'll do it now because I just smacked them. So Arak goes into rage.
I gotta ask though, did you just like run right through that summoning circle?
Yes.
You kicked up a cloud of the. It looks like it was written in some sort of powder. Like there's a. It's not written with a pen, but it's poured out with a careful cone. And you just kicked up a cloud of the powders as you did so.
Arak doesn't know anything about magic, so he just kind of like ran right through.
All right. Was that it for your turn? Moved, ran up, and hit him
so
with
I
stick?
attacked, and then I raged at the
Okay.
end of it.
All right, Elisar.
Oh, wasn't sorry first.
Did we skip? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you
All
did.
right.
Okay.
So as these things pop, there's a little bit of disgust like on Zare's face, but then she kind of smiles and her starry blue eyes kind of twinkle a bit because she remembers her favorite songs they used to teach her at the promenade were about the Dark Song Knights, who were demon slayers of Alestray. So she draws both of her swords. And I'm going to attack the one in front of me.
All right. He squares off with his claws.
Whoops, sorry.
I applaud the ambition, but let's land the blow before we drop the
Let's land
damage.
the blow first, before we start dropping d6s. I did it again.
Keep it up.
Sorry,
It's heavily
sorry.
damaged now. We're doing
It's
great.
been a second. It's been a second.
well, yeah. I mean, you're backing it up. Yeah. So you dance in, and he's like, "It would have been an honor to have been summoned by you, but I wasn't." Oh, good shot. Ugh.
And with my offhand, I'm going to attack again.
Okay.
I'll drop the actual damage this time, though, right? So
Yeah, I
for the
restored
first-
I restored the one shot from the first short sword. All right, even better. Okay. He actually smacks with his palm and his claws, sing as they smack the blade, but it was a feint on your part, and you came in with the other one and stabbed him in his belly, and he drops back. He's like, "Oh."
And then she takes a dance-like fighting stance, and her round is over, or her turn is over.
It looks like you hurt yourself a little bit, by the way.
I stabbed myself.
Yeah, you accidentally dropped
Fixed
the
it.
dice on yourself.
Yeah, you did 4 points of damage to
There.
yourself.
And I
Oh,
fixed the
wow.
monsters
Okay.
too. I squared you. I did you right. As you cut into him, and he's impressed with it. These are not what you expected from demons, but they're rather polite and cordial, at least. Maybe they were summoned with some sort of manners spell embedded into their true names. Who knows? I don't know how they anchor it. Not actually a demonologist. I just, play one on the internet. But the thing you did realize is you really wish you had magic swords.
Have both of them spoken, or only one of them so far?
They've both spoken. Oh, yes. Capital idea. We should kill them.
Elisar is gonna try speaking to the one to the south wall in Abyssal, and he's gonna just try to ascertain who summoned them and for what purpose.
What do you say in Abyssal? Because they're speaking in the common tongue, and that's obvious. They've adopted some mannerism that's not their own. What do you say exactly?
He would say, I mean you no harm. I come only for information. Who has summoned you to this plane?
I gotta say, if that's your opener with I mean you no harm in Abyssal, I still picture that sounding like and just like as you speak Abyssal, you see the cloud of dust that a rock ran through begins to scintillate and crackle with tiny little tendrils of black, purple, and green energy. It's just as if it knew the words, but it's the magic that it could have given you, the power that it could have lent, evaporates. But he looks at you and goes, "It is too late for bargaining. Blood has been drawn. Equations must be balanced. Surely you understand that. The bookkeeping is worse in hell. The abyss, we fudge the numbers."
He would switch back to common and state, if that's the case, then we'll have it your way. And at that, he would cast a firebolt at the one in the south.
Okay.
So let me target him.
Look forward to it.
Whoops, wrong button. There we go. Ah, miss. Hopefully I don't burn anything else.
You'll have to be faster than that. I've been practicing.
And that'll be it for Elisar's turn.
Right. It is, in fact, one of the Quasit's turns. The wounded one. The one who you have hit with your blades in multiple spots, nicking and cutting the... Death of 1,000 cuts. I respect that. Let me show you something. And as it says that, it peels back its face and reveals two like floating googly eyeballs, and an enormous distended jaw just crackles out, and this squid-like tongue just shakes in place, and you are scared.
Yeah, unsightly.
It just hit you with a scare effect. You failed your saving throw, and you are frightened. Zaray, that was the scariest thing you ever said, and it puts its face back. He's like, I hope you forgive me the indignity of it, but next time, I hope to make you shit your trousers.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
That's all he does. Like that was enough. The other one sees a rock as the bigger threat in the area, being that just ran up and cracked his friend, and well, can dodge these fire bolts all day. This wizard's a joke with their aim. Ha! I don't think you're very good at that. I don't think you've given it the time necessary, and you're an elf. Aren't you supposed to have all of that on your hands? Demons have longer, and we just get stronger. And he winks at you, Elisar, and then tries to claw at a rock. Oh, actually hit with the claws.
I did do a reckless attack, so any attack made against me is at advantage, right? So he can roll again just to see if like he crit, I guess, or something.
Oh, okay.
Please let me stick my hand
No.
in that bear trap again.
Just a dirty 20, not a crit.
Okay.
So it's just I mean, it's bad enough. Scratch you with some demon claws. Minimum damage, just 4 points, but you gotta make a saving throw. See what he does is he taunts, punks off the wizard, and then looks at you and becomes a giant scorpion for just a moment on its hand. Like it's you see the claws near its elbows clacking out, but then its entire forearm just becomes a giant scorpion tail, like it didn't quite shapeshift properly, and it stabs you with the stinger. Poison, and that was just like Botox. It got rid of a wrinkle there. Like you can handle that. That was fine. That was nothing.
So relaxing.
Shaz, it's your turn.
All right. Well,
Got a couple demons in here.
I see my friend is frightened. So I am going to shoot this thing in its face directly over her shoulder. And miss.
Okay.
And then I'm
Okay.
going to do nothing. Move along.
Well, didn't you just pick up some second level rogue
Yeah,
shenanigans?
I could disengage or hide or something, but
Well, you're
I don't
not
really
actually
need to.
engaged.
Right. So I don't really need to use that,
Okay.
any of those things. I'm good.
All right. Gale of Misty Vale. Poisons.
Yep.
Bound.
Ooh. So there's the dust, there's the fine, totally not imps, summoning, scorpion stingers to fight my companion Iraq. I've seen too many die to poison. I won't let that happen to them.
And technically, a rock wouldn't let it happen either, but
Yeah. Well, it's like trying to get blood from a stone.
grew up in a hard place.
So what Gale will do is they will actually shapeshift into a dire wolf.
Okay. Now, can you turn into a dire wolf at your level with that challenge rating?
It is a challenge rating 1, and I am a Circle of the Moon druid.
Awesome.
So, yes, let me go and actually load the monster manual into my thing.
Oh, I can try and speed you up. Get some of that notes. We got a little druid wild shape reference. Dire wolf, you say?
Yes.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Has it happened?
Is it working?
Am I in yet?
You have to ask.
Tingling. It's tingling. That's how you know it's working.
Oh, that was wrong. Well, it worked when we tested it.
So last time.
Oh, it's your character sheet. Hang on. Gotta do it. There. There we go. Now you're
There
a
we
big D.
Now you're the big D.
Now you're the big D. And
Beautiful.
it is a dire wolf, so it is farking huge. We got our first wolf boy.
Yeah, so
I've been waiting for this. I actually have. We gotta fix that. That's not what we want at all. There's a way to do that. I think I might have to do it on the combat tracker. And you're just large and in charge. You're like, let me in, let me in.
Yep.
God, where'd that come from?
Yeah. I didn't think about the small spaces being such a big wolf.
They kind of are. There you go.
Oh, I love that token.
That's sexy.
Oh, yes. Gale is a dire wolf.
Okay. And now I'm going to use my pack tactics to go and attack the closet one at advantage. So
bonus action to shift into Krynos. I mean, I'm sorry, to go ahead and turn into a dire wolf, which would actually be.
Let me actually attack, not just damage it. Silly me.
We're playing in reverse this evening.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
You know,
we'll start at third level and work our way back to second.
A thing.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, it's a miss. Undo that damage.
Why?
Because you didn't hit it.
I missed.
Oh, I was excited for you. Now I'm going to the tail of the tape, and I too am disappointed. So he's You went after Quasit 1?
Yes.
Okay.
It is the one near me.
Okay. But you did miss.
Yep.
Okay.
So
good round. You know, I guess Elisar is going to have to be like, whoa, and get out of that square. But that's okay. It's a good round. I'm impressed. Rock, there's a giant dire wolf here, and somehow you know it's Gale.
You can tell by the ribs sticking out on the sides.
It's still emaciated. Huh, impressive.
It's a hungry wolf.
Hungry like the wolf. Bang. I was going to say earlier what I wouldn't have given for a sound drop of Britney Spears' Toxic for when you're going down into the stinky summoning chamber. All right. Rock, what you doing?
Well, bonking thing seems to be working very well. So I'm already raging. And I want to do another.
You didn't drop the effect on yourself yet, though. You should do that if you're raging.
How do I do that? Is the question.
Just drag the rage and effect and drop it onto your token, and it should work. Or just double click it, I think.
Oh gosh, I've never done that. So
first barbarian.
Last time.
It doesn't work. I think I tried to drag it. yeah, I don't know how to work that right now, but I will reckless attack again.
Okay.
So let me just target the already wounded.
It's a hit.
Oh, hit. So I'm just gonna add 2 modifier of +2 onto the damage.
You know,
Oh.
that was enough. He collapses. Good shot. Impressively large fellow. And he falls over.
And then can I like threaten the one on the other side? Like it's just something I say.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
point the barking stick at the other guy like you're next. like shake the stick.
I'll let you make like that sounds like an intimidate check to me. An attempt at one. I mean,
Okay.
they're creatures. They can be reasoned with. They're demons. I mean, hey, they appear to speak like gentlemen, but they don't seem to fight like it.
So I shake the stick at them, being like, "You're next."
All right. It's DC 18, but I'll let you try to intimidate the Quasit because you did just thwomp his friend. Okay, 16. But here's the thing. Sometimes I feel that, and I'm not getting into house rules territory. That's different. It's a different mood. It's a different show. But there are times where I don't feel charisma is the best representation of the stat that should power intimidation. And there was a feat in 3.x that allowed for you to use your strength modifier in place of your charisma. Because sometimes somebody standing in front of you talking about the ass whooping you're about to get while their impressively muscled friend behind them just cracks their knuckles. That sounds like strength is adding to it. So even though you got a 16 and an 18, he'll say, that may be the case, but I still want to see if your lady drow friend shits her trousers. But here's the good news. You're not frightened anymore. Because the one that was frightening you is dead. And when you hit that blow, he says all that. He falls over. He gives the quick little parlay, the pithy rejoinder, and then collapses into just a quick spiral of black moat smoke that blows away instantly, and he's gone. And there's just a little displacement of dust on the floor where he once stood. Quasit 1 is gone. Quasit 2 is considering your proposal, Arak. Did you wish to move? Oh, I'm sorry, before I jump ahead.
Nah.
Okay.
It's fine. Right there.
And did say that you're no longer frightened, so let me get rid of that. All right, Zeray, what you got?
She refocuses herself after that repulsive thing poofs into brimstone and ash, and her eyes narrow out the other one, and she's not going to let anyone embarrass her. So with a few steps and bounds, she moves into here. Oops.
Okay.
And lets her steel fly.
Good, solid hit. Oh, good show. You have struck true. But I am faster than you think. He slumps over. That was a solid wound that you delivered, and even though he shrugged some of it off, it's probably the best hit you've had. With these things, it's just get them in the belly. They're demons. They still have appetites. And Matt, thank you. Big ups. You are killing it with the music tonight.
Woo!
All right, Elisar.
Fun battle times, like a little bit of techno.
So
gonna change out my daggers for glow sticks.
So having seen how deftly the Quasit dodged his previous firebolt, he's going to go for a tried and true spell and cast Magic Missile on Quasit number 2.
Wait a minute. Are you letting him get inside your head because he taunted you because you missed with a cantrip? So you're like, all right, fine, spell slot. Here it comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he did kind of shine it out. And the
Can't
thing
miss
is,
with this one.
in Forgotten Realms, the Blade Singers came from a different era of the elves' greatness, and a lot of their legacy is still waiting to be rediscovered in Cormanther in the ruins of Myth Draenor, which you've only recently taken, and I say recently in elven terms, less than a century. The Spell Plague put that on hold. Now, the archaeology of Myth Draenor can happen in earnest, and the rest of your blade singing legacy won't be found in Candlekeep. But enough about that. Just saying, he got inside your head, and I like it.
Absolutely. So that means it's time for Magic Missile on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna do all 3 bolts going towards him, of course. So there's the first one. And just for show.
The first one knocks him back, and he says, "Oh, next time, remember, demons are mostly bluff." And he disappears. A calm settles over the abyssal dance floor.
Is there any chance I can recover that arrow I missed with?
You look around for it. Let's see if you find it.
Yeah.
Or did it return to the abyss?
Right.
A little perception check there. Every time you go away, you take a piece of me. You do not recover your arrow.
My dice have sucked this evening.
There's
I've not had a good roll yet.
There's been some hot and cold running dice, and thankfully it was just a couple of Quasits. They're not that tough. You did really, really well. And looking around the chamber, it just has this very used look about it. You know, like a used car, used summoning chamber. Like many, many things have been summoned here. Demons, devils, daemons, who knows what else? Eidolons.
The Maurice used summoning chambers. We got a deal for you.
If you're looking to contact the other planes, we're here to help. We can get you parts. We can get you supplies wholesale. It's a well-used, multi-faceted summoning chamber, but at the same time, it's also kind of simple. It's well kept, but it's not clean. There was no danger in running through the circle, but it did have a little lingering effect. Thankfully, nothing stronger than Quasits were being found here. And as we begin to discuss some of the cosmology of the space that you find yourselves in, you start to remember things from the outside world, Elisar, and the nature of the history of the realms and the lands around the inner sea, and remember that this entire continent of Faerun means home of the fairies. The whole continent was the Elven Kingdom 10,000 years ago. The elves fought amongst themselves for many millennia before any other races even showed up, before any other gods got involved. The elves fought amongst themselves. The nations were much more as afterthoughts. But the rules of certain things haven't changed, and the weave of magic is of primary concern to spellcasters, and the various ways you can configure the threads of the schools of magic and the enchantments and the layers of the planes into these vibrant knotwork that gives the weave its structure, its complexity, that shows the infinite nature of the goddess of magic herself. One such battle is being fought in the prime material plane right now. And yes, that's in quotes, because time's not passing here the same way it is out there. But Matrius does his best. He's a learned man. Yes, he's an eternal student, he once described himself. He had a potion of longevity. He said, as a human, I'll be lucky. I'll live to see 200, but I'm going to spend most of it in books. He never actually became a wizard beyond the first circle of magic. And the imps make short work of him. One of them sets a tapestry on fire, and there is great cause for concern. Matrius runs panicked down the corridor, Candlekeep rushing past him. He comes across a small intersection where a number of young avowed who haven't taken the vow of silence are doing what all avowed do, gossip. I don't know if you've ever worked in a library. I had the good fortune as a person in the real world to have worked at a library for a time. And I have to tell you, librarians and library folk are not what you think. Although the library is a sacred and quiet place, librarians are not. They will engage in all manner of social discourse behind the scenes. Oh, Matrius, right? Yes. Breeze, right? No, Zephyr. They look back and forth. He's like, you must get one of the magisters. There are imps loose in the conjuration ward. And they run off. A great flurry of activity begins and ends with more Greaves. Yes, this is a serious matter, and it will be dealt with to the best of our ability. You sure you can do this? An older wizard is brought in, and an older wizard still, and he says, it's dangerous magic to do. Don't you agree, El Cantorpin? An old, bald, elven wizard who seemed to have grown a tiny chin beard out of sprite says, yes, that is the way. Looks at a human woman, also bald, with half a head of tattoos. Her name is Pazakura. It is dangerous. It is other planar, and if the equation is already out of balance, we can't do much harm. Yes, they are trapped inside, and, well, we've dealt with the imps, but what will they face if we are wrong? And as they join hands, Pazakura is the last to speak before their ritual begins. We will find out one way or the other. Zoom in on her eyes. Her tattooed eyeliner on one eye, but not the other. Hairless on one side. Hairless and tattooed on the other. A dark glimmer in her eyes. As they begin to try to crack through the abjuration that guards this mansion you are in. And as they do, you are striking the final blow. Your magic missile strikes true, and as that imp falls to it and says, remember, demons are mostly bluff. This time, when he collapses, just like his companion, same spiral of energy and displacement of dust on the floor, but this time a shudder like an aftershock, like a tremor, like an earthquake issues through the floor. What they're doing outside is unknown to you, but it does appear to be affecting what goes on in here. Where to next?
So Gale is going to sniff around for whatever smells poisony.
Okay.
As a wolf now, because
Yeah.
wolf senses.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and you make those at advantage when they're scent-based checks as a wolf.
Yes.
I sent you a perception check on there at advantage and got an 11 on the high die, so 16. Yeah, it's this room, like I said, it's got funky smells in it, but they're largely natural. But when they are other natural, they are still plants and funguses from other planes. But the other door, beyond that door and creeping out from the tiny little bit of space between it. It's a very foul smell in there. Much worse.
Yeah, so I guess I would like go up and like scratch at the door and sit by it.
Well, the door is it's a tough squeeze for you because it's you can try and like curl around and like it's the door that Shez Najular is out on the map.
Yeah.
'Cause you're big.
I do my impersonation of a drug dog and like scratch and sit and then just be like try to communicate as much as I can.
Okay. Shaz, you don't need a supernatural wolf boy to tell you this door has a foul smell on the other side of it. This is the more chemical. This is where the chemical smell is coming from.
I don't speak giant intimidating dog, but I do have a nose. So I'm gonna take out a handkerchief and tie it around my face.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna check this door for traps.
Same as before?
Same as before.
Okay.
And then if there are no traps, or if I don't think there are, I'm gonna open it.
All right, since your perception check on something else going on there. Are you trying to open it stealthily?
Of course. I do everything. You can just assume everything I do is stealth, unless I say otherwise.
Absolutely, yeah. I just like sending you stealth rolls where you don't get to see the results too. That's fun for me.
I do like that. I like not knowing whether it really works or not as well.
It's one of the few, like I've taken in my home games, like I roll almost everything out in the open except for things like insight, some investigation checks, perception checks, but stealth checks too. There's just certain things you don't know how well your character did. Your character might not either. You roll a 1, you step on a twig, you get slugged like Han Solo did in Return of the Jedi. That's the obvious one, but most of the time it isn't like that. This door, unlike the other one, is in fact locked. And it's not quite airtight. That foul smell, that formaldehyde, is creeping out through the keyhole of this door.
Well, I have just the tool for this. I set to work to unlocking this door.
Okay. You have proficiency in your thieves' tools, correct?
Correctamundo.
Did you take expertise in that when you hit level 2? Is that a thing you get at level 2?
No.
Okay, never mind, my bad.
Well, I mean, of course I did.
I still have blind spots as a DM for 5e from a player perspective because there are still certain classes I haven't played yet. And Rogue, believe it or not, is one of them. I've played a fighter, barbarian, paladin, and a gunslinger because the DM let me. But that always comes back to bite me. He controls me with bullets. You ready to make that check?
Yeah.
We're just gonna have it be your dex plus your proficiency modifier, which is 2.
Is it like sleight of hand? Is that like how that works?
No, it's proficiency. It's tool proficiency with the actual
it's
thieves'
not
tools.
it's not a skill on the skill thing.
It's not.
It should be.
We can do it as sleight of hand if you prefer. I'm cool either way. It's the same mechanic.
Yeah, I would prefer to do sleight of hand for sure. Because that I do have expertise in.
I feel like I've been schnookered. Yeah, the door is open. This chamber. Oof. So smells of alcohol and brine, formaldehyde permeate this room there. Your ever-burning torch reveals inside large glass vessels, small glass vessels, jars, canisters with no lids, ranging from 1 foot to 6 feet tall. Inside each vessel is, well, for most of them, there's the body of a creature floating in some sort of clear liquid. But there is 1 4 foot tall, 2.5 foot wide container that is missing its lid and has no occupant.
Some nasty pickles in here.
There was at one time. Looks like some of the pickles may have escaped.
All right, I guess I'm gonna draw my short sword and take a step in.
All right. Wait for the rest of the party to come up after you.
Yeah,
Before-
I'm gonna move a little bit further in just so people can get in the door. But
Before we leave the summoning room, there was no books in there at all, right? There was just the summoning circle, and that's it.
Pretty sure that was it, yeah. Yeah. Rather Spartan in there. Just seemed to be a working room.
Time to go to the pickle room.
Okay. Is anybody else entering the the preserved menagerie?
I'll squeeze in last if I can.
Okay. Yeah, it's tricky when it's there's only so much space to go around.
spread out, you guys.
Scram! Okay.
And now we enact the Scooby-Doo scene where Shaggy and the giant wolf
You know,
eat
we've
all the pickles.
we've had some strong Scooby energy for much of the show so far. It's not a bad thing. So what the zoinks y'all doing there? This is it's looks like there's a lot of jars around here. Looks like some of them, well,
There's the big empty jar. It's a bit concerning.
Mhm.
there's a little bit of a there's a different concern. You have a different set of circumstances to suddenly have to deal with because you hear a seems like something is splashing out of jars on shelves on either side.
If it's a perception check related to hearing or smell, can I take it at advantage?
You're not going to need to, because it's pretty obvious that there's a number of disembodied, pickled, crawling claws scampering
Ooh,
on the shelves.
Lactosy.
The pickles are getting restless.
The pickles. The pickles are definitely getting restless.
Delicious.
Sounds to the
and-
tune of the youth are getting restless by the bad brains.
These are just they're moving about but not attacking yet, but you still feel like they could be at any minute. So if you wish to adjust yourselves 10 feet in any direction as you position for what feels like a fight brewing, but you're not quite sure. They're just sort of scampering around. They're definitely checking you out. The hands sort of stop and move a la thing.
Do they look at all familiar?
Human? Oh, well, that one might be bugbear. Severed? Chopped? One of them is chopped off. The clean laceration as if it is a chopped off bugbear hand. The other one appears to have been maybe twisted off because there's a compound spiral fracture on the ulna. The radia is just a little twig of a bone. So one looks like an arm that was ripped off a corpse, and one looks like it was cut off of a fresh bugbear and animated later.
Ooh, exciting.
Could I get an Arcana check to see what kind of like magics are involved with?
Absolutely. I mean, if you were a gambler, you'd probably go with necromancy, but there's something else involved, and you didn't quite understand it.
Didn't major in necromancy, sadly. And
You didn't.
So,
You're not one
Nor-
of the 8 schools.
or conjuration. No.
Or war magic. Okay. Does anybody else wish to move before things get too weird?
Is
I
any
like
of,
my corner position.
is any of the liquid splashed onto the floor?
A little. Yeah.
My perception die just kicked in apparently.
Ooh.
Okay. So as you move
I'm
up
in-
there, you see the 4-foot jar, and you can't see the word around the other side, but you do see the word TADPO written in the common tongue.
Tadpole.
I was hoping it was like an animated storm giant's hand. That would be awesome.
That's furniture.
Anyway.
It just hops up on the wrist, and you've got one of those hand chairs.
Yeah.
Scratching yourself with the thumb. Oh, like people wouldn't be people without magic, right? Like we'd still be crude and gross.
Yeah.
So Gail, you come in. This room smells 50 flavors of wrong, and I'm gonna have everybody make one last perception check. I feel like when I say it like that too.
Ooh, the last perception check.
Well, it's been fun, you guys.
Failure.
My
Zaray,
epic fail train is continued.
you're the one who moved around, and you see a rock looking at the large jar, so you look over there, and with the light from the torch illuminating the inside, you can read the backwards OLE, so tadpole, comma, slod. SLAAD.
I knew it. As soon as you said tadpole, I knew you were going with slot.
Time to
Well, there's a
die.
couple roads I could go. I could go that way, or I could go illicit. But
Right.
you're second level. It's still pretty nasty, but I mean, I didn't write it. I'm just, breathing life into it to the best of my ability. But you definitely feel that this is a pretty scary collection of critters. It doesn't. You don't have to make any dice rolls to figure out that what's going on here. They're summoned in the other room, and sometimes they're brought into this room. This room's contained a number of creatures. As you look around, you see a pickled cockatrice, a dead flumph, so it looks like a lily pad with a number of organelles and plant parts on it. There's a really big fire beetle in one jar.
Wizard taxidermy.
Yeah.
So
But-
that means there's magical scalpels here. No self-respecting wizard would have their scalpel only cutting half as well.
The splashes increase another and another, and you realize that although you've moved in to examine what's going on, it also seems that these claws have been moving about as well, into position, if you will. Make them smaller, though. They're not the giant
They really are
furniture.
storm giant hands.
Okay. They all stop at the same moment and sort of cock themselves into position with some really good Foley work off camera. Not ripping off the Addams Family. Why not? I was ripping off Beetlejuice earlier. I'm not ashamed. Real artists steal. That's what Picasso said. And
It's a tribute.
they leap to attack, and we're going to roll initiative. Dun, 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 yeah. So you're still in wolf form there, huh, Gale?
Oh yeah, lasts for
Convenient.
an hour.
That is really handy. Right.
This combat music, I feel like we just entered the Matrix.
Much better rolls on initiative this time, y'all. Rock, you still have to roll initiative too.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's all right. All right, Shaz Nazular. I'm gonna give you a free perception check first before we kick off initiative. Like you already rolled, you're gonna go where you're gonna go, but you're going first, is what I'm telling you. But I'm giving you the perception check for free.
Okay. I like free. It's my favorite price.
Nat 20. Awesome. There's this creature hiding in the shelves near you, and it's very much tadpole-like. It's about 4.5 feet long, of purple mucus-colored flesh and little tiny hook claws where its arms would be if it was developing.
Ah, the old purple snotfish.
You are aware of the slod tadpole.
Is it within attacking range?
It is, because you sussed it out with that. So go ahead and drop it on there. There you go. It was hiding in a jar below. Crawled in and ate the eggs that were in there. They were destined to go to this frog family that was trying to raise a clutch of critters on a different planet.
So it thought it was all hiding. It thought it was being
It did. It
stuck.
was eating. But you look bigger. You look like you're made of more meat than those eggs.
It's also within 5 feet of LSR, so we're gonna hit this thing, and we're gonna go for that sneak attack damage. But I'm not gonna hit it, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Okay, so then
you try to stab it in the jar that it's in, and it goes and flops around like a fish.
but I'm going to very cunningly disengage and move over here.
Okay. Okay,
I'm not,
I like
I don't
that.
want anything to do with that.
You can't end your square in the square the dire wolf is standing in, though.
I'll continue on then.
All right. It looks like running from that because, well, you duck and tumble out of the way like, wow, that's a lot of wolf.
Yeah. I kind of roll over your back, Gale.
Yep.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Someone just needs to pick up mounted combat, and then we can charge into battle.
There we go.
And on that note, LSR, save us.
Yeah, you see me take a swing at this giant thing and freak out and run.
But he did draw attention to where it is. So everybody's aware of where the slod tadpole is. It's in the jar below the one it's supposed to be in.
Do I recognize that creature?
Let you make your choice, Arcana or Religion, since it's planar.
Let's go with religion.
Send that to you. You said Religion, correct?
Yeah.
All right. You make it.
Man, rolling low on these knowledge checks tonight.
Back to the books for you.
Clearly he's been skipping class.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you still get to go though.
it looks pretty freaky looking, and Shaz really called attention to it. So let's try a firebolt on it.
Fire is the best way, to be sure.
Plus, I'm hoping some of this stuff is flammable. Like, let's just catch shit on fire.
That would be awesome. Ah,
Ah, damn.
Let's just catch shit on fire, you say, as you cast Firebolt. And then what did you roll to try to hit with that Firebolt?
A natural one.
if you could turn this room into a blazing inferno and get everybody out, that'd be great too. I'll just shut the door again, and we're good.
So you hit the outside of the jar that the tadpole is in, and your Firebolt goes around it and starts bubbling the volatile alchemical admixture that's in that container, and it is beginning to incondense. It's glowing. He's about to jump out, so that jar might explode. But still your turn, and you can move if you want to.
You can move if you want to.
As a bonus action, I would like to activate my Blade Song to become more agile.
Well, that's probably a good time to do that.
So let me do that. And I am going to try to follow Shaz's path out the room.
Okay. I'm gonna have you make an acrobatics check. You're falling on the backside of a wolf flank.
Sure, I got advantage on acrobatics checks right now.
Yeah, and he's doing it in bullet time because of the Matrix music.
Yeah. That's why we have it as the combat music. So
Look at this. All right, so you tumble over like a piece of classical art and land sliding down the wolf's flank and tail. Coordinated effort. Nicely done.
I'm gonna high five as a free action as you get over there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for your turn?
That is it.
That's a good turn. I'm going to give you inspiration for that. That was impressive. Okay. The slot tadpole leaves its temporary home as it is about to get cooked out of it and jumps over, seeing the dire wolf as the most appropriate host body.
Big
It is
mistake.
going to
Snotfish.
bite you. Someday. It immediately realizes the error of its circumstance and nervously, doggedly darts back, provoking an opportunity attack from Arak and Gale if you want it.
Yes, please. I shall make that opportunity attack at advantage using pack tactics. Yay.
Still get those with being a normal sized wolf. Just saying.
Oh, hey, I hit.
Yeah, but
Well, you
I
did.
don't get nearly as good things.
Nice.
My rage is gone though because we spent a long time getting here. So
At
I
least
Yeah.
think rage only lasts like 10 minutes or something. Yeah.
That's as soon as you go through a round without attacking or being hit,
Mhm.
you lose your
Double
rage.
3.
yeah. That's it's
An advantage means nothing
all right.
when you roll the same number.
Rock hit it, and it seemed to like it left some of its mucus behind where you hit it, so you know you hit it hard, and it's hurt, but it's wincing away.
Mm.
Ray, there's a whole lot of little creepy, crawling claws. It's like Thing needs a manicure real bad. Now that you see
Wincing
all
the
of them,
night away. That's
One
a
of them-
Shen's album.
one of them is human, one of them is bugbear, one of them is humanoid, but somewhat fish-like.
Well, she, did see Elisar and Shaz,
Get the hell out of Dodge.
slip out of the room. But her path is even more obstructed. So she's just going to fight her way up.
It was a tactical retreat. I wasn't panicking.
Okay. Zeray, I'm gonna have you also make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Or Nature, your choice, whichever's higher.
Arcana.
Yeah, not so much. Okay.
No, just terrible little monstrosities.
So what do you do?
Lash out with my first short sword attack. Spin around and deliver another. Miss another.
It's okay.
And
You cleave through, and its fingers separate from it. Like 3 of the fingers fall off and start to wiggle, and then it just all stops moving.
then I step this way, and since I'm still in these guys' threat, I do not get an attack of opportunity.
Correct, because you didn't leave it. Okay. Good turn. You done?
Yep.
Gale?
Gale.
What you thinking about?
It's thinking there's still a slot right there.
There is.
It's gonna shimmy up and
Okay.
it's just gonna attack it all normal like. None of that advantage.
Grab a big old sluggy tadpole and
Ew.
shake it till it stops wiggling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. That's all.
I
Shit it like a bad babysitter.
It's just everywhere.
Get it in the jaws, and I broke the squeaker. The squeaker's no longer in it.
Chewed it till the squeaker came out. Okay. Gale, I'm gonna say that you see the roiling, boiling alchemical fluid down there. We might have an explosion coming up here.
Well,
The
time to
instigator of said explosion has already fled the scene. Just putting that out there. You know what you did.
Yeah. So I did some movement and I attacked. Could I, lassie bark at the thing and then run out of the room? Or-
What's that you say, Gale? We're all gonna
We
blow
don't
up?
have time to. We don't have time to get Timmy out of the well.
Sure. Where are you going after this? Are you just gonna like bound up over Elisar and Shaznashular? Because that's gonna be an athletics check at the very least.
Yeah.
You want to paw run on the tops of their heads.
Maybe it's just Gale, like, obviously saying, just dog pointer. Just we get out of here. They'll stay where they are, but they're rotating direction.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
And
Okay.
changing sizes radically before your eyes.
The claws get to go now. That's the truth of the situation. And the claws, they don't have a lot going on. This one just leaps from where it's at and grabs onto a convenient leather strap on a rock and rears back to try and claw into you. It's really they don't have a lot of not a lot of finesse to what they're doing. Man, hit. This one's a little D4 +1. It's a little bit of a combination between bludgeoning and slashing. Max damage.
Ouch.
Crawling Claw 2, well, he's quite dead. Crawling Claw 3, however, is going to leap up and form a fist as it comes to try and punch Zeray. crack. Crawling Claw 4 is going to roll around and try and slash at a dire wolf's flank. And it is a rock's turn. You've got a dead thing on you. You've got a hand on you and a red circle. You're muted.
I'm trying to figure out how he's trying to smack that thing off of his chest because he's holding a staff. So is he just gonna like try to like go underneath it and then like yank it out like that?
I mean, that would be fantastic. If you roll a 20, I'll let you put it anywhere in the room you want.
I don't know if I'll be able to roll a 20, but I'll try it anyway.
Knocking
We'll
it to
see.
the other side of the room is only a par 2, so you could do that with anything higher than a 15 on the die. But you could just smack it, and if you roll enough damage, it'll be as if you pitched it off.
We believe in you, Ara.
Let's see what happens first. Oh,
Oh, no!
But you gotta believe in yourself.
I know.
Oh, okay.
So Arak is basically trying to wrestle with a hand on his chest. Just
Yeah.
trying to yank it off and doesn't do anything.
No?
He doesn't even notice Gale pointing at the alchemical thingy that's boiling over because he has a hand that's
It's just-
clawing into his chest right
I mean,
now.
it's friendly. It's trying to give you the digits.
Whoa.
Well,
I feel like I should give all of you inspiration for putting up with that pun, but I'm not gonna. Do you want to do anything else? I mean,
no, I think he's like he can't really move anywhere else. There's still like a claw right there, and it'll just draw opportunity attacks. Also, that's sort of panicky. Like the
A little
having
scary.
hand there. Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
got
dead
a little
hand
bit of
clinging to you, like scrabbling around.
Real-
That'd freak me out.
real horror show. Give me back my hand! All right, Shaz.
yeah,
You want to just run up the stairs and just abandon the
I'm
party?
just gonna. Yeah. I'm just gonna clear the hallway so people can get out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold my action.
As you ran past the summoning room, see if you noticed.
I noticed that dude punching chords on the guitars I ran past.
Oh, you saw another black cat in the summoning room,
A black cat.
cleaning its brow, pawing over its ear, where the summoning circle used to be.
Curious.
Seen the black cat before?
Yeah. I'm gonna assume it's. Does it look like a different cat, or is it just?
That's the thing. Can never really tell. Maybe it's deja vu. See the same black cat everywhere.
The last black cat was on top of a clue, Ginger. A clue.
Actually, can I? I'm sorry. Like, was this a hallway here?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, I'm not gonna run past that because I want to explore that hallway.
Okay.
So, I'll stop right there for now.
Yeah. To your left are the the stairs you came down.
hmm
Okay.
And I'll wait for other people. I'm just gonna say, hey, there's a cat in that room back to LSR. I don't know if that means anything. There's a cat in there.
All right, LSR. Fight Club. You decide the level of involvement and the importance of the cat.
Yeah, let's check out the cat.
Cat looks up at you. It looks a lot like the cat you've seen before, but this one's got a nick out of. You're pretty sure there's more than one black cat in here.
Is there anything else in the room?
Just what was there before?
Hmm.
Displacements of dust. Small table. The bronze braziers. Nothing burning in them currently, but those two smaller circles are the braziers. But this looks to be the room where Festandia summoned various creatures and put them to task, purpose, or ensorcelment.
Elisar's gonna hold until someone else passes by the hallway.
This is perfect timing because it was on your turn. So we're going to have that jar that you hit actually explode.
Oh no!
And Crawling Claw 4, Zaray, and Gale send y'all some saving throws here.
Sorry,
I'm far
y'all.
away enough.
Just a little, I mean, easy DC. Dexterity saving throws, nothing crazy. Just
What's a little chemical fire between friends?
a burning sensation. Okay, Gale, you failed. Crawling Claw made it for what it's worth, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's just a D6 fire damage. So 4 points to Gale. Wow, with the hit points. My goodness. You're so burly as a dire wolf. I love how at second
know,
level
right?
you've pulled off having effectively 40 hit points. Noted. Okay.
Noted.
And Zaray, you made that, so you're only taking 2. A little bit of burn there, and the Crawling Claw only takes half of that damage, and instantly the Bugbear Claw incinerates. Gone. And it is Zaray's turn. One of the canisters exploded. There's little bits of burning fluid splashed around the shelves of alchemical. Could be a chain reaction, but it doesn't look to have become a chain reaction at this point.
Yet.
Yeah, so the priest of Illustrate is a little bit different than the rest of Drow society, and they've been teaching equality between the genders for quite some time. They even have a spell that you use to change that you can use to change gender. But she can't help but think a little bit as some of her male colleagues left her in a bit of a jam that you shouldn't send a man to do a lady's job. However, she takes it all in stride, and she is going to oops. Hold on. Lash out with her short sword.
20!
Boom.
I'll do it.
Natural 20!
She's that pissed.
She's 100%. That bitch.
Instant death.
Completely sliced all the digits.
I'm glad that was a
on.
20 because she attacked the one on a rock first.
Yeah.
She saw that he had a little bit of difficulty.
Yeah. You
now-
sliced it and just left 2 fingers holding on, but they have no strength left in them. And the rest of the
then-
hand, it's
with her offhand.
oh shit.
Zaray is pissed.
Damn.
And the
In a
fight.
spin of blades, they both fall to the ground, cut in pieces of fingers and such.
Okay.
Twirled them to death.
You earned the inspiration I just gave you. And,
And then she steps closer to the door, but cannot quite leave yet.
and there is a calm that falls over the chamber. The fires flicker out, burning their hot alchemical fuel rapidly until just the foul smells remain. No more strange, loosed creatures upon the room, and it is again the quiet, but you still feel that you should back out respectfully and maybe close the door, make sure all the fires are out first.
Or maybe light the rest of it on fire.
Or that's option. You have options. But you got options that we will discuss when we come back. We're going to take our second and final break of the night, intermission, if you will. It's going to be a 10-minute one. We're going to refresh ourselves, refresh our beverage. We're going to be dropping the Discord link in the chat here in a little bit. So if you're not already on our Discord, join us. And we're going to be having an after party after the final chapter of tonight. Come hang out with us on this call, answer questions, talk to you about what it is we're doing here, where the story's going. And we look forward to hanging out with you, seeing you all. Going to go ahead and take that break now. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back. The party has investigated the basement of Mordenkainen's swanky pad. It's Fistandia's, as they have learned, and they are seeking out the books that will help them decrypt the cipher that unlocks the front door to this place so they can escape. They know they're on the right path. They caused some problems, kicked over a few hornets' nests, encountered some crawling claws, some pickled, petrified body parts. But they seem to have dispatched all of their challenges readily and, no pun intended, handily. What do you do next?
I want to explore down this hallway.
Zure casts a quick cantrip, prestidigitation. She cleans the soot and grossness from her armor and clothing.
As
Okay.
you do this, Gale looks at you with a maw full of quasit blood.
Disgusting.
And slod slime.
Yep.
Anything else you're searching out while you're in either the summoning chamber or the pickled menagerie?
Alytha's gonna give the summoning chamber another examination just to see if he can find any more clues, because he finds it highly suspicious that the cat's hanging out in here now.
It looks almost identical to the cat that you saw up in the study. You know, because part of that long rest was, if an elf can get by on 4 hours of trance, I know there's a cat in their lap for at least some of it.
Zure is going to actually, before leaving this room, she is going to take a closer look. She's going to look at the shelves a little more closely, move some of the jars around, see if maybe there's anything hiding.
Okay. So you begin a thorough investigation of this area. Anybody helping?
I will. A rock will.
Okay.
If Gale can get close to sniff the cat, they will.
That's a different role. We'll come back to that. That's a different scene than in swapping out all the pickle jars.
And that's how Gail got her permanent scar on her nose.
Why are all the whiskers on the
snap.
left side of your face curled up? Okay, we got a
Look at
21
those
and a 17
stats.
on the die. These are
A
some
nat
big
20.
numbers.
Yeah.
Putting up some big numbers there. Yeah, that's exactly what has been going on here. There are creatures, there are reagents, there are salts, some of them are labeled. You just brought something over from Limbo. Well, that's a place of pure chaos, man. You need to go ahead and put in a stabilizing salt. So you take this mercurial agent that can be stabilized in a centrifuge, and it's from Bitopia. It's bitopial mercury, so it can form this salt that will... There's a lot of strange planar materials here. Detecting for magic here, the entire place has sort of an afterglow, sort of a hum, sort of you walked in right after somebody was having some of the jazz cabbage, and you can smell it, but it's not there currently. That kind of vibe. But there's a lot of planar magic that has been done in these two rooms, and creatures from them that have been preserved here. There are still a number of creatures in this menagerie if you wish to free them or, investigate them further. They're not really a mystery to you. They're all dead. There's that. The slod wasn't. The crawling claws, well, equal parts necromancy and transmutation there. That's why they can't be turned as easily. But if you wanted to empty all of these and drop an actual torch or flame upon this room, it would thoroughly destroy everything in here. Starting fires underground, not necessarily the best idea.
No, after I, would move them around and see what's on and around the shelves, I would leave them on the shelves.
Okay. Anybody want to put some of the lids back on where the crawling claws came out of, just for, I don't know, decorum?
A rock probably would, just to be nice.
Well, some of the jars are octagonal, some of them are round, so you're like, okay. There's labels on them. You can read and write common, as evidenced by your signature on the contract and back in Baldur's Gate.
Is there any other tubs as big as the one the Slod Tadpole was in?
There is about the same size as the one that contains the cockatrice.
While I'm looking, I'm gonna make sure that one's nice and tight.
Okay. Yeah, that one is actually a clamp, and you notice one of the clamps is loosened.
Oh yeah, that's going closed.
Oh, see, it's tricky, because now that only one of them's been loosened, the rubber gasket is kind of more compressed on the side where there's a clamp. So it's kind of like you got to loosen the clamp on the other one to put them both on again. You know how it is with jars.
I will. Zaray says, "Rock, can I borrow your strength and hardness for a moment?"
Sure.
Please, just put your hand down on this lid and hold it down while I do this.
Okay, sure.
Does anybody else hear saxophone? I thought I heard some saxophone there.
While he holds down the lid, I'll loosen both ends and clamp.
All right. Now it's comical athletics, but it's still athletics none the same. Or it all the same. Very low point of entry. Everything sounds like an innuendo after you're borrowing a rock's hard place for a little while.
You know what I'm saying?
Say no more. Yeah, it is solidly clamped. Oh my goodness, there's so much clamping going on.
So much clamping.
We'll just leave this as a nice, tidy little package, all nice and secure.
The package has been secured.
Oh.
Okay, well, nothing needs to start on fire in there. The hallway you mentioned before.
Yep. I wanted to explore this hallway for sure. Is that a doorway there? It is. Okay.
As you walk into this hallway, your torch, it's as if it was snuffed. It is still dark in this hallway.
Huh. Oh, there's that saxophone. Lovely.
So as you bring this torch, everything takes on this like misty black haze. You're quite unable to see, but you can still feel where the door is. There is a hallway. It's a negative space, but you appear to have entered a deep darkness.
It would seem that there is some sort of magical darkness or something down here. My torch doesn't seem to be working any longer.
The smell is much worse, similar to the embalming chamber, but much more varied, much more astringent chemicals are leaching from the other side of this door. You found a door. Similar construction to the other, judging by feel. So in the pitch dark, do you wish to also search this door for traps? And I'm going to say, does anybody else wish to move a little bit closer?
I'm going to put my ear against it and listen for a little while. I just want to see if I can hear anything moving or scurrying around on the other side or anything.
Okay. Elisar and Zaray, you notice that there is magical darkness on this hallway. It almost functions as a hidden door just because it's just an alcove that has magical darkness beyond it, so you might walk past it just thinking it a wall. Easily overlooked. Very clever. But Shaz Nazular, you saw him walk in with the torch, but then you don't see the light given off by the torch anymore.
Mm.
We can hear him when he calls and says he thinks there's a magical darkness, right?
So far. Matt, you're crushing it. Spend your inspiration so I can give you some for rocking those keys. Got Matt on the ones and twos.
So, I moved Gale into the room with the summoning circle. And I wanted to see if they could smell the cat.
Oh. Yes. You smell the cat. It's a cat. You want to make a nature check?
Yeah, something.
I understand.
I just think that one, giant dog definitely would smell the cat, and two, I think the cats hide on things. Or
There are
sit on
cats here.
things
Now that
of
you
importance.
woke up this morning and you just felt a little bit different, a little stronger, a little gamier. You know what I'm saying? Like feeling kind of randy. You want to go out and maybe do a few laps before you settle down to a big old plate of meat. You woke up. You came into your own. You're feeling that wolf power. That wolf power is coursing through you. And there is a family of cats that live all over this mansion. And they all look really, really, really similar. Almost identical. But you're still newcomers here. You've been here really less than 24 hours of agreed upon time.
Yeah. Okay. So, sniffing around, don't see any books under it that have a single letter on them or anything of that nature.
No, the cat just set you on your path. The cat's not every flagstone in the path.
There we go. Okay. Then with that, Gale will, move on out. Follow the scent trail of Shaz Nazular down
Okay.
a magically darkened hallway.
You're doing your best.
I can't see him, but I can smell him.
I know you're having trouble because it's clumsy to move your massive wolfy form. You smell him down that magically darkened hallway, and even that gives you pause. But Shaz, you're inspecting this door, so I'm going to go ahead and let you make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
All right.
Yeah, you're tap the dagger around and okay. See if this is the same. And as you go to open the door again, it's frictionless until it is stopped decidedly by some mechanism. This door is locked.
All right. I'm going to pick this bad boy.
You're going to do your best.
Do my best.
Now, you don't need this is more of a sense of touch thing, so you're not at disadvantage for this attempt.
Right, because it's all about feel when picking the lock.
It is. And you can feel that you didn't do it.
Yes, I can. All right, then. And that concludes our investigation of this hallway. I just say, hey, there's a door down here, but I can't get it open.
Yeah, brute force might be able to. It's stone, so it's not going to be easy, but...
A rock?
Somebody summon the brute squad. A rock?
Rock is the brute squad.
Wait. We might still could use a delicate touch. See, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. And I will move into the hallway and attempt it.
That is
Do
true.
you want to try and use my lock picks?
I'm actually not trained with them, but so I won't be getting my proficiency with it. But yes, I will.
Well, now,
I can tell you how to do it here. I'll help you.
this is a tender moment because the two of you are in a pitch black corridor. Even magical darkness works on even drow. And it's a deeper darkness than the torch would get through, so the two of you find each other in this confined space, and by touch, you're showing Zeray where the keyhole is and passing the tools, and it's just as you touch each other's hands in the darkness, it's a strangely quiet, intimate moment. The rest of the party hears that
I think we might need to change the soundtrack.
awkward tension.
Oh, they're not dining in Paris? Oh.
I was thinking we could make a half elf. That will take longer than a round.
We're not there yet.
All right.
But,
I'm gonna let Zeray make the check.
I want to use the help action.
Would you look at that? I like this. I'm not going to change the DC, but I'm going to give you advantage on this check, Zeray. You ready?
Yes.
This is crazy. And the door is opened.
See, we just had a moment there. You just picked your first lock. So proud.
It's quite a thrill.
Seemed that way. I was thrilled. Glad to read the news. The air here smells of astringent chemicals. Long wooden tables stretch out from you. As you extend the torch into this room, the darkness is just in the hallway. There are vials, beakers, flasks, various liquids and powders. There's books here, stacked between the glassware and chemicals. Yellowed paper, charts, and blackboards full of
the doors open. I'm just going to
formulas.
take a moment again just to stand there and listen and just actively see and hear what can be seen and heard before I take a step into the room.
You hear a soft bubbling, rhythmic, like an alembic. And
Kev's in here with his bong.
as you look, giving you inspiration for all the wrong reasons, because as you glance about, you see the bubbling alembics and retorts. It's nothing's in danger of bubbling over or exploding. It seems to be a closed loop system that is just continually refining and thickening this alchemical reagent. Now, looking around, you realize these reagents might be somewhat valuable. If only there was a store, somebody to buy them.
I'm sure there might be. Let's see what I can pocket here.
So you move into the room.
Yeah.
Zeray? Are you moving in? Your red circle.
Yeah, she follows Shaz into the room.
So in that exchange, there was like 4 lockpicks that were involved. He hasn't noticed yet, but you still have one. Elisar, you move up. This is an alchemical laboratory. Kind of makes sense. This is also judging by the dimensions of the hallways, this looks to be the entirety of the basement. A summoning chamber, a chamber to make various chemicals, and then a chamber to keep the things you've summoned in a pickling broth of those various chemicals. This is where those are made.
So now that Elisar is in here, I'm going to ask his professional opinion. Which of these things do you think, hypothetically might be worth the most if we were to, exchange them for gold elsewhere?
Let's see. So, is he able to make an accurate assessment of that?
We'll see. Sent you an Arcana check. You missed it by 1 though, so I'll tell you there's 2 books that catch your eye. One is open to the instructions on constructing a culinary homunculi. So there's the ingredients for 1, maybe 2 homunculi. This is where
Those
coriander.
guys are awesome cooks. So maybe we should make one of those guys for the party.
This is where coriander and cumin were made. So there are thousands of gold worth of alchemical reagents all throughout this room.
How much can I realistically carry?
Well, the other thing about alchemical reagents is they're volatile. How much do you want to carry?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep them separated. I don't want them to...
You gotta keep them separated.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
If nobody was going to make that pun, come on. Dad jokes on demand. Call this just an intelligence check there, Shaz. See what you get. Walk on
Not
the
my
smart
strong
side.
point, but we'll see what we get. Well,
You
that'll
got a
work.
natural 20.
That'll work.
Don't mix the powders with the fluids.
I think the powders are what I'm going to take, and I'm going to leave the fluids behind because fluids have
Okay.
a way of getting broken when you fall down and stuff,
Nice.
And powders are easier to carry and transport. You
Rock
can
and
flatten
Gale,
them.
you are far enough away. I'm going to say you get to make a different kind of check. Something else is going on.
Oh boy.
Can I take those books, by the way?
Gale, it's your hackles are up. There's something otherworldly and unnatural rolling down the stairs from the lighted world above in tendrils of creeping coalesced mist, like dry ice, smoke fingers crawling down the stairs. Something other planar is happening upstairs. That's not the room for it. That's the study.
Well, I let out quite a loud bark at it.
Woof.
Growl. And can I, like, is anything giving off the smoke, or does it look like the smoke itself is the thing? Like,
This is just what's this is just the after effect creeping in. This isn't the thing. This is the smell of the thing, as it were.
Like an aura emanating from something.
Something strongly unnatural.
Yeah. Up the stairs.
Yes. That place you thought was safe. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, having heard the bark, I'm going to come out to investigate.
Okay, LSR, you mentioned the books, so you went in to key in on the books can't move like that.
Yeah, and I was
I know I can't. But
while Shaz was kind of looking at the money making regions, Zare was actually remembering the book this morning that she kind of like zeroed in on. She would have started looking at the books as soon as she could. So
Elisar was also doing that, so as the two of you both zone in, you both reach for and grab a book that's leaning up against an empty beaker. And this one has the letter B on it. Capital B. As
An
in
I and a B.
bodacious.
Bodacious.
Hmm.
Bitchin'.
So I will add
And when I
that parcel.
And when I hear the warning bark, I assume I can tell what kind of bark it is, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's a cause for concern, but it's not a run quickly, I'm in danger. It's just a hey, kind of scared, kind of need to go outside, but there's a fire truck, there's fireworks, there's a bad day out the
What's up,
door.
buddy? You need to pee? You need to get outside? You
yeah.
need to go
When I
for a walk?
hear that, I'm going to sing a quick wordless tune, tapping into the spell song and giving myself casting Cure Light Wounds on myself because
Okay.
I did get hurt.
Yeah, totally. Nice. 8 points healed back. Yeah, your wounds stitch up, and you feel much more made whole. Good. And I put the letter B gilded book in the party's inventory as well. So you've got 2 of the books. 2 of you don't know how many, but you have them.
2 of 783 books.
Elisar, do you? Saray, you're good. Elisar, do you grab the book on how to summon culinary homunculus?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that book with me.
It's a good recipe. It's a recipe that just keeps on giving. Okay. Do you make your way upstairs, folks? Cautious and scared as you are, who goes up the stairs first? Because Gale, Wolf Boy's a little shook.
I'll go.
I think a rock will.
Yeah, I'll go with the rock. Oh, if a rock goes up, I'm right behind him.
Okay. Okay. So you make your way back up to the study, and these creeping tendrils of cool, smoky wisps are coming from under the door to the hallway. So, not from the study is not the room of origin of this strangeness. So do you fill up the study?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna stop you. It's just it's a room that was familiar. You spent a good long rest in there. You were comfortable there, but it's empty. No cat. No convenient coriander. And the vapors are coming in through the doorway. Gale, they appear to be coming from the west. Did anybody wish to take a short rest? You're all kind of doing all right as far as that goes. I mean, Rock, you took a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good to go.
I think I'll take a little short rest so that I can heal up with the hit die.
Okay. So you close the door here and bind up your wounds and try and regroup and figure out what's going on.
That short rest will pop me out of the wolf form.
Your sound's getting a little over stressed there. Pop you out of wolf form, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yep. Should be.
Except it didn't, because it's bugged.
You're stuck that way forever.
Fran, you also get an extra D6 because of
Oh.
my Song of Rest.
Hang on. Let me add that then. Well, not that I need it, but I'm fully healed apparently. So
All right.
I only
Everybody's
had
feeling good
one
now.
damage left, but that was nice. Thank you.
Just shrinking you down to put you out of the way. It's a great extension for Fantasy Grounds. It's just it doesn't always cancel your wild shape on the short rest. It will on a long rest. So I'm going to give you a long rest to make that happen, and then I'm going to go in and rewound a rock to make it all work out
Well,
mechanically.
I was already 0 because
Rock
of
was
the Song
fine
of
because
Rest.
the Song of
Oh, the
Rest.
Song of Rest took out that last
yeah.
one. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's even better.
And I think LSR would have, with his Arcane Recovery, would have gotten that one
Gone back
spell.
spell block.
He would
Yeah.
have gotten it back anyway after the rest. So the long rest is fine. It doesn't change anything.
Okay.
Huzzah.
I do want to make sure the one hit die is spent and accounted for though, so there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it won't take it away because you're not wounded. See, that's sometimes the helpful scripting gets in the way of what it is we're trying to do. There we go. Everything's on the up and up mechanically. A cat is tapping at the door and startles you during this short rest. You hear it rattle, but it's immediately followed by a meow. So it's familiar to you. Does anybody let the cat in?
Yeah, let the kitty in.
Yep.
It's another one of those black kitty cats. Jumps into a chair and immediately curls up and does a little stretch, little making the biscuits, and slump sleep. This room, at once familiar to you, is again strange and alien as you ponder what this mist is and what the source of it could be. It's not climbing up your legs, it's not filling the room, but it does seem to be some strange. It's got a smell to it, like a crackle of ozone or petrichor after a storm. We cut to a scene of a number of serious wizards with their hands all enjoined around this pedestal where this book is, this book that contains the portal, that contains the space, that contains you, and they are attempting to undo the abjuration magic. And they are chanting in a woven form of Ignan, Terran, Aquan, Celestial. And there is a shake and a shudder in the mansion. And you feel this. Several books fall off the north wall, skitter onto the floor. The cat is startled. And then this doesn't mind so much. And it is quiet again. Does something want out? Does something want in?
I don't know. I don't feel like this place is stable. We should find these books and get out of here before something bad happens to us.
Yeah.
And with that, your short rest is over.
We need to finish exploring the rest of this floor, I think.
Yeah.
Shaz, the door to the west is open and appears to be the glowing purple amber miasma. That doorway is, you can barely see it at this distance, but it's opaque with the vapors. This otherworldly space.
Is Bismarck beatboxing out there? We got the vapors.
Oh yeah.
The USS Eldritch is out there on maneuvers.
I'm going to go and I see this door here. I'm going to check to see if it's trapped. And if it's not, I'm going to open it.
Does not look to be trapped as far as you can tell. I know people like to roll dice to feel good on that one. That's fair.
If I don't need to roll a die, that doesn't matter to me. You don't have to send me the roll, but
Already did.
well,
That really doesn't
This
look
one-
trapped to you at all.
totally not trapped. I'm opening this door.
You open this door, and there is what looks to be some weights, some calisthenic equipment, an exercise bike. Looks like they got a Peloton. It's a nice little workout room.
Workout.
What the hell?
Battered wooden mannequin, weapon rack holding staves and daggers, all lit by the indigo tinted light that streams through a window.
All right, I'm gonna make my way in there and look around and see what kind of anything stand out here. Anything interesting on the weapon racks? All just look like utilitarian practice type stuff.
Looks like the usual suspects. I oversold it at the start, but got your attention. Yeah, glancing about. Sent you a little perception check there.
I'm
Something
looking for anything valuable.
It goes dark in here because something just flew past the window.
Whoa. Hey guys, there's something outside. I shout back.
Now, this window is different than the others in that this one reminds you much of the kind of windows you would have in a basement apartment. There's little alcove, little glass blocks, and you could sort of climb up to look out at what would be street side if this was a ground level establishment. But you're back on the first floor, but it still strikes you as a basement window. Do you wish to go up to it and look?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you approach it, something else just flutters past it. It moved in a manner like a sea creature, is the first thing you think. But I'll give you a perception check to see just how good a look you got at this thing. It moved pretty fast.
Yeah. Guys, there's a sea creature flying around out there.
Got a whole lot of moves to approve. So when you all go to do moves at once, if I take too long to approve the first one, this just becomes like this traffic jam.
So he's checking out that room right there.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep going this way.
Okay. Coincidentally for the audience, that is the direction that they moved. So whatever it is, it flew out that way. So it looks like there's a patio up ahead. An open space. It
Is the
sees-
door open to the patio?
It is.
Yeah, let's just walk out onto the patio.
There you go.
Very purple.
It is. As you move out onto it, it's gray flagstones nestled against the building, and it's all lit by that indigo, swirling amber, scintillating miasma. But you see a number of dark shapes, and one of them concentrates its darkness to a pinprick of white-hot intensity and burns forth from it a number of thickened purple clawed tentacles pulling its way into the reality of this extra-dimensional space.
Oh, damn.
Paging Mr. Lovecraft. Mr. Lovecraft.
And you hear this presence voice touch at your brainstem. You cannot escape the sphere. You cannot escape the sphere. And it's the sensation of something pulling its way into your reality. You might want to call for other folks.
Yeah. He would definitely call out down the hallway.
What do you call out?
He calls out, "Come this way, out on the patio."
I'm about to die, and I want you to join me.
Rock, you come out and you see this. The first thing you think is it's an eclipse. It's when the sun hides behind the moon. When the tears of Saloon are scintillating in the sky and all is dark and the ring appears. It's the ring you think of now. Just taking the time to move y'all into position. This is scary stuff. Gale, it's terribly unnatural. Are you still on board though? Friends might need you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Elisar and Arak are the first two out on the patio itself. You see this horrible mass of tendrils pull itself into your world. It's lit from within by some baleful green light. But as it rips its way into the world, you see flitting around it like jellyfish around a mass of seaweed, smaller, tentacled, and somewhat more familiar, less horrible, but not really less horrible, just different horrible creatures.
Ah, yeah. Make a sanity check.
But the larger of them is this nest, and you know it immediately to be the shape from the void. We're gonna roll initiative.
Oh,
I think its name is Brian Syme.
I believe so.
That's the artist.
I know.
Thank you,
I know.
Cobalt Press and the Tome of Beasts, for some lovely creatures.
That thing's gnarly.
It is. It is. It's horrible, in fact.
If you were playing in my game, I would definitely make you make a sanity check on that one.
I considered it. It's not the tone we're going for.
Oh.
Again, I'll wait for you guys to do your thing.
yeah, me too.
So I'll just be back here.
All right. So the shape from the void is manifesting outside the patio. And the grells, void-minded grells, so a little different than your garden variety grells.
These aren't vanilla grells.
Vanilla grells, they are manifesting around the outside of the patio as well. The shape from the void is going to go first. So it's going to actually cast a spell at Elisar and Arak, since they're the first to gaze upon its true form. Oh boy.
I don't like the sound of that.
No, not so much. It's a dexterity saving throw versus magic. Elisar failed. And Arak really failed. And springing up around you, it reaches out with its tentacles, and it seems like some of them disappear into these tiny little thimble-sized portals that it manifests around it. And you see that they're coming up through the flagstones of the patio, and it's the casting of a black tentacles spell in your area. A variation on that. So they are, since you failed, they are in fact grabbing you and grappling you. this is an at-will effect that it also gets to do.
Oh, goody.
You rolled a 1 on that save there, Rock, and LSR, you rolled a 12, which wasn't good enough. And you're terrified.
As you should be.
As you should be.
Zaray, you hear Arak and LSR draw in breath as if to scream, but tendrils and fear have robbed them of the ability to do so. You're muted.
What can I see from where I'm standing? Can I see the terrible tentacled monsters?
You see a rock and a whole lot of terrifying shadows of squiddy things, and a rock beginning to crumble down amidst the tentacles that are grappling, and the fear effect that is taking hold.
Okay. Well, that's horrific.
It's not good.
Definitely not.
Doesn't look like I could. I mean, I'm going to try to move into the room.
Okay. Brave. Well, that's not just the room. That was I didn't mean to approve the whole move. That would have sent you right over the side of the patio. But
Oh, okay.
you move in and you see that they are becoming encapsulated in numerous tendrils of varying amorphous opacity and depth. They glisten. It at once it looks like mucus, and then it looks like a cocoon, and it looks like dried leaves, and it looks like just hoses, and it's quite horrible.
Okay.
You could jump into the void and attack one of the grow with a sword.
You could just jump into the void.
I will. I don't have a lot. My action is I dodge. I take a defensive stance, and I also, as a bonus action, sing out into the void and give Elisar a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Hey.
Gale.
Oh boy.
Skinny
So-
Gale from Misty Vale.
Indeed. Yeah, they're gonna take a look at this thing. So let's just do a move. Move on up. See if I can get better eyes on it.
So Gale runs down the corridor. At first, you start to scamper on all fours and then go, oh no, I'm not a wolf. You get back up. And you see the horror show of your circumstances outside.
Indeed. Yeah. So seeing that, Gale will go and cast Produce Flame and target it at the nearest Grell. And miss.
Okay. Sadly, you missed, but you did throw fire at the squid creature.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Okay. Rock, I'm gonna send you some save and throw here. Now the tentacles are physical, but the damage, the damage is psychological. So it's a wisdom save. That's what I'm sending you first. It's, you rolled a 1 last time and a 2, so
That's one
forward
better.
progress.
Failing forward.
14 more turns, and I'll be able to survive this.
Gale, you see a rock moving towards the shape from the void. Encapsulated, cocooned, and being brought on board.
No. Snap out of it.
They do not, in fact, appear to be snapping out of it.
Snap into it. Snap into a Slim Jim.
So that's a couple of failed saves in a row. Rock, it's not going too well. Shaz, the smart alectacular.
I'm going to get up to where I can see. And then I am going to. Is there like a ledge on this balcony here?
There's actually an ornate ironwork banister all around.
Okay, so I'm going to fire an arrow into the shape from the void.
I think you hit.
Do I get sneak attack damage because it's so close to pulling in Gale?
Sure.
Or pulling in Iraq?
You totally
Okay.
do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll roll my regular damage first.
Solid contribution. 8 points of damage.
I'll just drop that d6 in the chat.
Another 2 points.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action, my cunning action, to hide below the lip of this thing.
Okay. Now, he can still kind of see you, but I get what you're doing. And that works. There is room to hide. The shape from the void, when you hit with the arrow, it was really that you severed some of its tendrils, and they just sort of just fell down. Point of reference towards the floor, down, where gravity would be, if it were real. The void-minded Grell moves to grab a helpless Iraq and encapsulate it in all of its tentacles. And you see these void-minded Grell have had their beaks fused shut so they don't bite. Their multi-attack is just more tentacles. And it grabs you and smacks into the mass of the shape from the void with a rock entombed within. And they snuff out. And all of the Grell immediately snuff out as well, making that inward implosion pop of dimensional magics.
Oh, snap.
And it is a moment before you realize that a rock is gone as well. I'm going to go ahead and
Heavy,
drop
man.
that Discord link in the chat.
Heavy.
It's, you feel their loss, you feel the absence of them.
Shaz just looks back at Gale and shakes his head. No words.
Where is he?
gone.
Gale would run to wherever, like, a rock had disappeared into the spot on the ground.
Gale, you
And
just about propel yourself off the edge into the swirling Bespin-esque clouds of indigo and amber, and Shaznazular and Zaray like stop you and say, no, he's gone. Something about the equation, something about balance, something about the numbers of beings that have crossed over back and forth. The stolen figurines of imps. The exchange of energy across the plains. The mountain that was prayed to, the mountain, the mother of mountains, to send the strength of mountains to watch over you, to get this book, to Candlekeep, to get you safe into the west. And now that journey is interrupted. This is looking like a pretty good place to stop for tonight. Pretty somber note to end it on.
damn.
Fran, how you feeling?
I feel good. That was a nice way to end things.
We're going to miss you and look forward to when we play with you again next.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss all of you as well. Thank you for having me. Obviously, I wanted to continue playing with everyone, but some of my personal circumstances are stopping me from doing so at this moment. But I would love to come back later on if you'll have me when
course
I'm
we
a
will.
little bit,
Absolutely.
Of course we
course.
will.
Yep.
Now, we've worked out a cast member change. I would never think to replace. You cannot be replaced, but we will have a new cast member joining us, and we'll be talking about that a little bit in the after party. I dropped the link in the chat for our Discord. We're going to drop the link for this Google call that we've been maintaining for the after party and hang out a little bit after this. I'm Asmo Daniker, and this has been the Biblio Files. Please join us next week for the Arc Guild. Papa Kev is one heck of a DM, one 9 hells of a DM, and provides a fantastic story I'm glad to be a part of as a player in that. And good night, everybody.
See you next time.
Thanks again.